Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Ashley Van Dyke with Advantage Software, and on today's video, Default Footers, I'm going to show you how you can insert a footer that will automatically appear on each of your documents. And this will work on all of your documents, whether they're real-time translations, note files that have been read in from a steno machine and translated, or even documents that you've created and simply typed into. I'm in Eclipse, and setting a default footer is incredibly simple. I'm going to go to my user settings, to the document tab, and at the bottom of the document tab, there's a box that says default footer. Anything that I type in here will appear at the bottom of each page in my transcript. All right, and so I have all of the text that I'd like in my footer, and now any document that I create, no matter how I create it, will automatically have this information at the bottom of every page. I'm going to press OK to save the change. And if I translate a new file, my translation has completed. And if I scroll down, you see that at the bottom of page 1, page 2, and my last pages, that my footer text appears throughout. My footer will also automatically appear at the bottom of the title page. If I wish to, I can go to the top of the title page, choose Alt-N, omit elements, choose footer, and at that point, the footer will be hidden and omitted in the document until I turn it back on. And so I can go down to the page where testimony begins, choose Alt-N, resume elements footer, and I can turn my footer back on for all of my testimony. And I can omit it again anywhere that's necessary, such as on my certificate pages. If you have a lot of information in your footer like I do, you also have the option of using multi-line footers. I can put my contact information on the second line, or if I have enough room, I can even use 3 or 4 lines. Whatever information you'd like to fit at the bottom of your document, you can simply type into this box, line by line, and Eclipse will mirror that information on your document. And the footers will, of course, appear if I go to Production, Output to PDF. You see that the footer is omitted on page 1. However, on page 2, you see all 3 lines of my footer. And with my settings, it fits just fine with 25 lines of text. However, one thing that I do notice when printing this out to PDF is that my footer doesn't look centered. Although each line is centered, it's not centered to the rest of my text, and I'd like to move it over to the left a little bit. In order to do that, I can go to my user settings, to the Paragraphs tab, and I can choose Footer, and I can reduce the right margin to move my footer to the left, or I can increase my right margin to move the footer to the right. It will center according to the number of characters that you allow on the footer paragraph type, and you may need to adjust this in order to place the footer exactly where you want it on your page. So I'm going to reduce my footer right margin a little bit, and I can make a new PDF. And my footer is now centered to my testimony. It is important to note that these footer settings are settings that are document specific. And so since I made this change within a document, I will need to go to the Paragraphs tab, either select Footer and make the same change in my master format, or I can select Current Document and copy the settings from this document to my master format if I'm sure that I want to copy all of the settings in the document. And the same thing is true if you change the text of the footer itself. If I want this text to be part of my master format, instead of having it all as one line, I'm going to want to copy this text that I've modified and perfected to my master format. And I can either do that by copying and pasting, or again, I can select Current Document and hit Copy in order to get those settings over to my master format. Once my settings are perfected for both the footer text and the footer margin, I now know that these settings are going to be correct in all of my future documents, but I'll also be able to apply them to past documents. So now I'm going to open up an old job. And this job have a footer at all on any of the pages. If I go to User Settings, Document tab, you see that there's no footer listed here. However, if I go to the master format, since we copied the footer to the master format earlier, it's available here. If I want to, I can simply copy and paste this information from the master tab to the current tab. However, if I know that this document should have all of my master settings, I can just hit the copy button. And you see that it's placed the correct text at the bottom of the document, but the margin still needs to be adjusted. And so I can go to the Paragraphs tab, choose Footer, and I see that it still has the old margin of 56. And again, I can check the master format, and I can simply manually make them match, or if I'm sure that this document should have all of my master paragraph settings, I can just hit copy, and the footer pops right over to the centered location that I chose earlier. And so now, all of my future documents are going to have exactly the footer text that I want in exactly the footer location that I want. And any old documents that I encounter, I can simply easily correct using the copy button in the Paragraph and Document tab. Don't forget that Advantage offers anytime support 24/7. Tech support can be reached with any question anytime, including weekends and holidays, at 772-288-3266. Email support is also available at support@eclipsecat.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified when we publish new content every week. Thank you so much and have a great day.